Today we are talking about alcohol's involvement in romantic relationships. My name is Jessica Duenas, and you can follow me on Instagram at Jessie La Dueña, at Bottomless to Sober. Bottomless to Sober is on Facebook, and I am also on Twitter at JDuenas24. I'm talking about alcohol and its role in relationships because I have firsthand experienced it. I have been the aggressor. I have been the person being hurt. But whether I was the aggressor or the person being hurt, 99% of the time, I was also drunk. And so I know that if I, as a professional woman putting this front as a teacher of middle school kids, and I was going home and dealing with either attacking someone or being attacked, whether it was verbally, physically, emotionally, or sexually, then I know someone out there is too. So definitely share if you relate to this, or share it with somebody if you know that they can relate to it and benefit from it too, because I'm standing here as a sober miracle who doesn't attack and doesn't get attacked anymore because I have decided to take care of myself and remove myself from toxic situations. So first, I'm going to share a little bit about a story of mine. And mind you, this is just one out of so many countless stories. In this story, I was the aggressor, and I was dating someone who was not named Andrew, but Andrew and I really connected because of our drinking. He drank heavily. I could drink as much as I wanted to. At this point in time, it was 2018, 2019, so I was drinking up to a fifth of alcohol a day. He didn't hold me accountable. He didn't say, "Hey, Jess, you don't think that's a lot?" No, none of that. Why? Because he could take advantage of me when I was drunk. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that's been there, right? Like, it's easy to suppress somebody who's under the influence of alcohol, whether it's in a romantic situation or any other kind of situation. It's very easy to dominate a person who's drunk because they can be weak. But I wasn't weak all the time because I was also the aggressor. And so to give you an example, and I laugh now, but it wasn't funny then. One morning we woke up and I looked over at him and he was furious with me, but furious. And I'm like, what happened? Like, I was surprised at his reaction so early in the morning, like already upset, and he pulled his lip down like that. And oh my goodness, when I looked at his mouth on the inside was completely cut up. And he said, "You hit me." Matter of fact, he said, "You kicked me." I don't know how that would have worked exactly. I don't know if I kicked him or not. And you know what? I couldn't defend myself because I couldn't remember. It was a complete blackout. And so in that moment, when I realized that I had actually put my hands, or in this case, my feet, on another person, that was a sign back then that maybe I should have stopped. Maybe I should have gone to get help. Did I do that? Never. Of course not. Why not? Because I was so addicted to alcohol that situation was so enabling that I couldn't give that up because I was not ready. I couldn't put down the bottle. So I was not going to give up a situation that allowed me to drink freely in a space that I did not feel judged, in a space where I could disconnect and free myself from the stress that I felt from being such a quote unquote perfect person on the outside. Remember, I kicked this man in the face and cut up his mouth, and then I went to teach in the morning. So I share this because it's insanity, and it's the insanity that addiction brings in our lives, and it brings it into connections between two people in a romantic situation. Now, the thing is, I know if I'm saying this, it's not just me. Back then, I thought it was just me. Back then, I thought that there was no way that anybody was going through what I was going through. And you know why I felt that way? Because I didn't talk about it. But I'm talking about it now so that you know, if you are in this situation, it gets better. It can get better. You have the power to make it better. Crazy statistics. The National Institutes of Health says that between two people in a relationship, on any given day where alcohol is consumed, the chances of violence, physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, doubles. It doubles versus a day where neither one drinks. That is insanity. Then in terms of, let's say you're just going out on a casual date, right? It might not be someone you're in a relationship with, but you're going out. Guess what? The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says that alcohol, not roofies, is the actual #1 date rape drug. And if you survey college campuses, 50% of sexual assaults that are reported have alcohol as one of the factors involved. I'm not saying that alcohol causes sexual assault, because we all know somebody who's perfectly sober and still sexually assault another person. But what I am saying is that statistics show that either one, the person being attacked, or the aggressor, or both, have been under the influence of alcohol when sexual assaults happen. Now, why do I share this? And I've already said it, but I'm going to say it one more time. It's like the theme of my project. It's the theme of why I do what I do. Some of you might be finding yourselves in the same situation. Some of you are going to work. Some of you are being mothers. Some of you are going to your families, and you're presenting yourselves as these perfectly put together women. Your social media might look great. You might look like you're doing amazing things. And chances are you probably are doing phenomenal things. You probably are doing your best, with raising your kids, or being a professional, or leading some sort of project. You are doing your best, but you know that there's something terribly, terribly wrong. And you're keeping it a secret because it's uncomfortable, because you're worried that somebody's going to look at you and say, why didn't you just leave? Why didn't you just stop? Why didn't you just put that bottle down, right? I felt that way that entire time that I stayed in any relationship where there was violence involved, whether I caused it or it was put onto me or done to me. And so the reason I say this is, once again, you don't have to stay in those situations. You can get help. You don't have to stay attached to the bottle. You don't have to stay in terrible situations that enable you to continue in your addictions. You can get help. And if you want to get some resources, you can go to my website, bottomlesstosober.com, and there's a couple of resources there. But I just want to let you know that recovery is possible. Now, in my romantic relationships, I can get angry, I can get upset, of course, but I don't put my hands on other people. And I wouldn't be in a situation where somebody would put their hands on me, because I would sense the red flags before that even happened. And when I sense a red flag, step away and not throw myself in there because I want to be enabled. I can not worry about losing this inhibition and say something that I'm going to regret, because I didn't stop to think about if what I was going to say was necessary, if it was kind, if it was going to contribute or still matter tomorrow. So what I'm saying is that there's ways to get help. I've been there. I've come from there, and so can you. So share it with somebody who might need this help. Subscribe, go to my website, find some resources, but just remember, you don't need to let things get worse before they get better.